November 26, 2023. We've got an NFL battle on our hands between the Tennessee Titans and the absolutely inept 1-9 Carolina Panthers. The Titans won this game, but what's notable about this game, between two teams who had a combined 4 wins entering it, was what happened at the end of the first half. On 3rd and 2, the Panthers had the ball inside their own 20-yard line, trailing 14-3, with the Titans having no timeouts left in the first half. Naturally, this spot calls for a running play. If you get the first down, you have 2 timeouts, and you can run your offense. If you don't get the first down, since there's only 37 seconds left, the Titans can't stop the clock, and you can take it into the half without ever giving the ball back to Tennessee. You'd be an absolute moron to throw the ball here. Sure enough, Frank Reich thought it was a good idea to call a passing play, which naturally stopped the clock and led to the Titans getting the ball back for no reason whatsoever, leading to them getting more points before the halftime break. Despite there being no downside to running and tons of downside to throwing, this man right here, Frank Reich, decided to ignore all common sense and give the Titans 3 free points by giving them an extra possession. I bring this game up because this was an episode of Dumb Decisions that you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And not even 24 hours after this game ended, Frank Reich was fired and was relieved of his duties as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. He was a gold mine for making the dumbest decisions with the Colts toward the end of his tenure and with the Panthers throughout his entire tenure. But this was the last time I'd ever thought I'd do a video about him, because there was no way he would get a 3rd head coaching job, right? I thought that was the last time I'd ever call his name and have to do a video on him. Until this happened.
Blitz comes, Sims straight ahead, holding on to the ball.
Okay, you've got 3 timeouts here. Tie game, Hawaii's in field goal range. Call a timeout to stop the clock and get the ball back. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's not a Stanford admission exam. Just call the timeout to get the ball back and...
He's got a yard. Now it's 3rd down. And the clock is melting.
Why is Stanford not using their timeouts? Preserve time.
Oh my God, he's learned absolutely nothing. Frank Reich learned absolutely nothing in his time away from the sport. He might have even gotten worse. Frank Reich, for the love of all things aloha, for the love of all things Hawaii, why are you not taking a timeout?
Snap, kick is up and good, and Hawaii has done it!
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something that looked bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something that looked awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of a college head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Stanford head coach Frank Reich. I'm not surprised that Reich is bad at clock management. No one should be. That was his downfall with the Indianapolis Colts and the Carolina Panthers. He was so bad at in-game management that he got fired before the end of his first season with the Panthers. Usually, you have to assault a player and grind on another woman at the bar to get fired before the end of the first season with an NFL team. But Reich was so bad that he found a way to do the impossible. And if you want another prime example of that, here you go. Here you freaking go. So while I'm not surprised that Reich is bad at clock management, I am surprised that literally the very first game he coached at Stanford, he wound up on this with something so bafflingly dumb that it's going to be hard to top. Heck, technically speaking, the season hasn't even started yet. Week 1 has not even happened. We've got a dumb decision in week 0. Maybe the dumbest decision of the season before the first week of the season. And man, what a dumb decision it was. The more things change with Frank Reich, the more they stay the same. He might be a collegiate coach now and not a professional one, but he carried over his atrocious clock management skills to that level. Fantastic stuff. So with that being said, let's take a look and why not calling a timeout after second down when you have 3 available at your disposal is a really bad idea. And to do this, we need to evaluate the pros and the cons of each scenario, with one option being the one where you take a timeout like a smart person, and the other option being where you just let the clock run down for no reason like a moron. Starting with the first option, your goal is to get the ball back. You want to have a chance to answer Hawaii's field goal if it goes through the uprights. Is it a likely chance? No, but it's a chance nonetheless. And you never know. You just need the opportunity. So let's say you call the timeout after second down, and that play is done, which comes at 20 seconds. You have 2 left now. Hawaii runs another play, presumably a run, and that takes it down to about 15 seconds, give or take. You then take a timeout to pick up 4th down. On 4th down, Hawaii kicks the field goal, and assuming it goes in, you're getting the ball back with about 10 seconds left to do something and get into field goal range or get a Hail Mary and hope for the best. Again, is it likely that you will win the game? Of course not, but you at least give yourself a chance to call a play or two and get close. Emmett Kenny, your kicker, has a career long of 52 yards. So if you call a fair catch on the kickoff, assuming they go deep, you get it at the 25, and then get 40 yards on the ensuing 2 plays, knowing that you can use the middle of the field too because you have a timeout. You can try the kick. Get 20 yards, and you're in Hail Mary range and have a shot at the end zone. At least the ball goes back in your hands, and Hawaii can't walk it off. And if Hawaii misses the field goal, you can either run the ball and potentially break off a big run, or just take a knee and play for overtime. In other words, there is no risk whatsoever to calling a timeout here. It only benefits you. If Hawaii wasn't in field goal range, or it was a long kick, I would understand the logic behind not calling a timeout, because you don't want to risk the possibility that the Rainbow Warriors turn a 55-yard try into a 45-yard try, or something along those lines. But once you're very clearly in range, as in a field goal inside of 40 yards, in perfect weather, mind you, you need to be concerned with one thing and one thing only, and that is getting a stop to get the ball back. Compare that to the alternative, which is, well, whatever the heck Frank Reich was thinking by running out the clock, thinking that all of his timeouts carried over or something to a conference game, and there is no benefit to doing this. If Hawaii makes the field goal, you have no time left to do anything. The Rainbow Warriors walk it off, and there's nothing whatsoever that you can do about it. You can't call plays to answer their score, you can't try and get close for a Hail Mary or a field goal, or try and break a kickoff free, nothing. All you can do is haplessly watch the ball sail through the uprights. Also on top of that, because the kick happened on 3rd down, let's say there's a bad snap. Hawaii can still try another field goal if they throw the ball away or just down it, compared to the alternative in the first option where they couldn't do that. So they gave Hawaii an extra lifeline for no reason if there was a bad snap. I'll put it like this. If you're playing a 1v1 basketball game and you're trailing 20-16 and the other player makes the bucket to get to 21, is it better for you if the rules are last licks where you have a chance to answer, or if the rule is that whoever gets to 21 first wins the game? Of course it's better for you if the rules are last licks, because you have a chance, however unlikely it is, to answer. If the other guy walks it off, there's nothing you can do. And when you have an opportunity to get the ball back, which, by the way, was sort of gift wrapped to you after Hawaii threw on 1st down for some reason, despite being in field goal range already, and you don't take advantage of it, I don't even know what to say, because that is an insane line of logic on so many levels. And what's even dumber than this? No one, not one single reporter, had the guts to ask Frank Reich afterwards about why he didn't take a timeout, even though that was the clear story of the game. There were 7 questions that got asked during the post-game presser to Reich, and not one of them said, "Hey coach, was there any thought to taking a timeout there?" We got questions about what it was like to play on the island, what it was like to coach at Stanford for the first time, what you would do if you could go back in time, and what the offense was like with tight ends.
Yeah, Frank, just on a personal note, leading a college team, leading the Stanford team onto the field for the first time, what was going through your mind? What was going through your heart at that point?
Yeah, just kind of want to get your thoughts on what you guys could do to get the tight ends going more.
Just real quick on a positive note, can you kind of talk about what it's like going to Hawaii with the Stanford program and just what it's like being able to play on the island?
Because, yeah, those are the pressing questions people want to know about. I know every Stanford fan is waking up today and is saying to themselves, man, I really wanted to know Frank Reich's thoughts on how he utilizes tight ends in the offense. And isn't saying to themselves, oh my God, we lost to Hawaii. Why didn't he not call a timeout in that spot? And can the season be over already? The fans of Stanford deserve better. Not just from their coach, but from the people that call themselves beat reporters covering this football team. Because not asking the pressing question about why you didn't take a timeout in that spot when that literally was the difference in winning and losing the game is like if no reporter asked the Seahawks after Super Bowl 49 why they threw the ball down by the goal line. Although at least in that example, you can defend the decision to pass. And here, I can't think of any logical defense for Frank Reich here. You would have had time to answer with a timeout in your back pocket, and Hawaii was already inside 40 yards. So why Reich did what he did, I guess we'll never know. But at least we know what it was like to coach on the island. Hard-hitting journalism right there, people. Hard-hitting journalism. So what did we learn from all of this? If you have two options at your disposal, and one option gives you a chance to answer, and the other option does not, then take the first option. If you have two options at your disposal, and one option gives you the ball back, and the other option does not, then take the first option. If you have two options at your disposal, and one legitimately poses no risk whatsoever and can only benefit you, and the other does not pose any reward, then take the first option. If one option gives you a best case scenario of potentially winning the game on a Hail Mary and a worst case scenario of touching the ball again, and the other option gives you no chance to win in regulation in a best case scenario and will likely result in you getting walked off with no time left and no chance to respond, then take the first option. And if you're Frank Reich, you better figure it out real quick, or you'll be fired from yet another head coaching job. Yes, I know he's the interim, but still. Stanford's a mess, Frank Reich is a mess, the reporters are a mess, and we haven't even started the season, technically speaking. God, my brain and my body are going to be fried this year if Frank Reich has anything to say about it. Who knows what he's going to do for an encore next week? All I know, based on his tenure with the Colts and the Panthers, good luck this season, because it's going to be pretty ugly. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Check out our live streaming schedule for the next few days. We're live every single day on this channel, whether we're covering a sporting event or playing GeoGuessr or just taking your requests. So make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single time that we go live and so that you can join this community. Also, thanks to all our members and our Patreon supporters who get exclusive perks like their name of the end of each video, members-only Q&A streams, and cool emojis to use on videos and during streams. See how you can join this community and become a member or a Patreon member by clicking the link in the description below.